This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, the podcast where I share what to eat, how to move, and how to change your thoughts so you can have the energy and the vitality you want and deserve in the second and better half. And today, it's story time. I am, for the very first time in 5 years, a day late on my podcast. And I believe that's in spite of several things that were major life stressors, even life tragedies that interrupted life. The podcast somehow went on. But yesterday was an anomaly. I'm really taking a deep dive into how to serve you better in this coming year. In 2019, it's very important to me that I acknowledge what you probably already feel yourself in that overwhelming amount of content that's out there. My goal, my mission and desire is not to create more content, but to give you better content that solves problems, answers questions, objectively lets you make critical decisions yourself, having the right information. I know you won't always agree with my opinion, nor will I always agree with yours. What I'd like to do today is read from You Still Got It, Girl, the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women. And it was my honor to release this book. In 2016, this book was released in November, just before a conference where I got to go and hold it in my hand before I'd even gotten them at my doorstep. And I want to read just a little snippet from the Acknowledgments. Many of you, if you're listening, may already know my story and how I became a primary research, a subject of one, even while I was digging through hundreds and thousands of reviews of literature and primary research studies done on women in perimenopause, menopause, and beyond about the truth about fitness for women in midlife and later, and about its impact and influence on and by hormones. And it's my honor to share this with you before I dive into this really short podcast and read. I want to make sure that you realize the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women course is the signature course that was truly built and based on this book. It's the program for those who'd like a little bit more support. And in this last few weeks and really days of February of 2019, we're highlighting that course and have a very special link in the show notes at flipping50.com/you still got it girl. And you'll find a steep discount. So if you're looking for the answers, not a quick fix, not just an exercise program, actually it's less exercise and it's more about the what and the why of all the integrated pieces, 7 of them highlighted in each of 7 chapters, so that you can either dive in like you would to the book at the right chapter or to the course at the right module for what you need most. And it's not always what we think we need. For instance, if I were going to go to yoga, my first choice would be hot power yoga. That is not probably what I need. I need gentle restorative yoga to help me relax because I'm go, go, go all the time. So if you're looking for the yin and the yang and the best marriage, realize that the first thing you choose may not be the best thing for you, but there's room for improvement. And one step in the right direction is one step in the right direction. So today's podcast is brought to you by the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women course. And there's a special link so that you can get started. And included in that course is a special recording on adrenal fatigue. And if you're all the way over on that edge, how you cope and change things, as well as the bone density or bone health mini course. Ultra important in that I've talked in the last 2 weeks to medical experts who are sharing information that may lead you down the wrong path. So I relay the nutrition, the exercise, specifics about what's true in the research most related to increasing bone density. Let's dive in. From Acknowledgments, I want to highlight this. This book happened in part thanks to my midlife crisis. I'm thankful for the many major life changes that happened at once that forced me out of my comfortable yet stagnant security and woke me up to possibilities and my dreams. I thank my son Dustin for telling me to jump when I needed to hear it and for being the reason everything matters. Not surprisingly, my heart is still in the Midwest. Thanks to my family who all came running when I needed them, and to my then, at the time of writing, 89-year-old young mom who's still pretty hot without the flash. Thanks to TD for catching me at the finish and inspiring me every day to get there. In the last 2 years, while I was focused on the contents of this book, before I knew it was a book, so many women had openly shared their baffling challenges climbing hormonal mountains. My primary research came from women just like you, dear reader. The questions you asked and the frustrations you expressed led me to begin group coaching and create content to help you solve problems for which there were few answers. You deserve a second 50 that rocks. From the foreword in the book, being fit and 50 is not mutually exclusive. It better not be. With 75 million baby boomers, the majority of whom are women, currently journeying through their next 50 years, being mentally and physically fit is critical for successful longevity. Sister Genevieve Kunkel, a media star among the great centenarians, was once asked what was the secret to her longevity. Her answer was short and sweet. I have but two good traits. I'm alert and I'm vertical. Being cognitively sharp is essential for high quality living, but equally as important is having the strength, flexibility, and balance to assume the vertical, followed by the endurance to walk to the staircase and then climb it without having to speed dial 911. That is a part of the foreword by Dr. Pamela Peeke, who is a Pew Foundation scholar in nutrition and metabolism. She is New York Times bestselling author of Fight Fat After 40, Body for Life for Women, and The Hunger Fix, the 3-stage detox and recovery plan for overeating and food addiction. She's also well known for her Discovery Channel documentaries. So I'm going to leave you with that thought so that you can dive in if you so choose. In the preface, who moved the fat? If you had time to read the overwhelming amount of conflicting advice concerning what to do to achieve a desirable level of health you're bombarded with daily, you wouldn't have time to exercise once you were done. Whether you have been exercising and eating right for years but suddenly can't reach the intensity you used to, or can't drop those mounting pounds where your waist used to be, I've got you covered. There is a magic secret. It's that we were wrong. We learned wrong. What we did once doesn't work and will never work again. The good news is that in the last 10 years, we've learned more than in the last 50 about diet, nutrition, and 5 other forces that will either work for or against us. In this book, you're going to learn how to have your real life, your wine, and your weight loss too. There are many doctors, trainers, nutritionists, and books shouting their message at you. While you're running from one to the next to get pieces, you're not able to put the puzzle together. This book is your personal GPS. All the pieces are here. You'll learn where you're cruising and where you've taken an unintended wrong turn. You'll start your journey in chapter 1 with a checklist to target your best first step. There is one thing that, if you focus on it first, will make your ride smoother in the right direction. You may love hearing that less sweating over exercise and eating more food than you ever thought possible is a major part of this plan. You may need to hear that rest and a massage are keys to weight loss. Whatever your experience, this book offers you a fresh start to new strategies that get you back in the game of high energy. And here is my introduction for you. If you're tired of the weight loss, weight gain roller coaster, overwhelmed with diet and exercise advice, and you want to avoid menopause weight gain or find a solution to low energy, high stress, stubborn pounds, and implement a smarter, complete action plan that works and lasts, you're holding that action plan in your hands right now. How many of these problems can you identify with? It doesn't matter if I eat good or bad, nothing seems to change. I'm putting on weight in places I never had problems before. I know I need to exercise, I just don't know what to do and I don't want to get hurt. Every trainer or nutritionist I see gives me different advice. Who do I believe? When I couldn't lose weight, my trainer said, well, you're getting old. I'm willing to do it if I know what it is. This book will be different in 2 ways. First, the book brings together 7 essential areas that science knows can no longer be addressed in isolation. Wonderful resource books exist for weight training, cardio, diet, sleep, stress, and hormones. Yet none of the existing titles help you understand the integration of these pieces so you can create a whole person fitness plan. Second, the book will be unique from other diet or exercise books in the way it is written and formatted. It features easy to read type, short paragraphs, and quick read lists and sidebars so you can absorb the information quickly. Each chapter features a different contributing expert or case studies and success stories. You didn't have to read this book front to back. You can take the assessment at the beginning of the book and then jump to the chapter you need most. Dump your thoughts of January resolutions when you've tried and failed to change everything at once. There is one thing that will have the greatest impact on your success. That's where you should begin. The book is written in a conversational style with insightful anecdotes, checklists, and self-assessment forms. Don't let the amount of research cited scare you. The text is designed to be a blend of science and boomer to boomer, over-the-fence conversation. Imagine you and I having a glass of wine or cup of tea while you read. We're going to talk about cortisol as if she's not even in the room. She's not your diva. Research on aging and every topic included in this book is exploding. My inbox is groaning. We've learned more in the past 5 years than in the last 30. Researchers and fitness professionals are aging too. We want answers as much as you do. Logic will have you nodding in agreement to new information. Habit gravity will have you pushing the same speed and incline on the treadmill as yesterday. This book provides interactive components to get you to change your actions, to change your results. What a waste if you only read this book and you don't know what to do. I've written this book as if you are my coaching client and we're about change. That being said, you're an expert. I'm going to encourage you to start listening to your body again. Women in particular have accepted symptoms and signs something is wrong as normal. The book focuses on reaching solutions naturally by defining right in each area. When in doubt, I encourage you to visit your local hormonitarian. Assess, don't guess. The problem with some of the things we want to test is nothing will show up until you've got 90% damage. Trust your gut, no pun intended. There's a Steve Jobs quote that makes regular rounds on social media. When you look closely, most overnight successes were years in the making. Reality is, the fatalog of belly bulge, bat wings, and kinkles you're gathering didn't arrive by FedEx. It was years in the making. What we learned and became our habits in the last 30 or more years doesn't work anymore. It never did. We were just too young and too busy to notice or to do anything about it. We just bought a bigger sweater, more elastic waistbands, and then carpooled and climbed the ladder onward. Chances are, if you're reading this, you're not frustrated with being overweight or having a few extra pounds, or not just frustrated. You suffer from infobesity. This book will help you spot seductive cover headlines that blindside you when you're vulnerable and help show you what really works. Grammar is not always followed on purpose. You'll find a vocabulary unique to Fatpedia for females. This approach is intended to be informal and more useful than proper, and I hope that if you're a stickler for grammar, you'll forgive me. Someone suggested to me that I write this book like I'm talking to a friend. I did. I don't let her off the hook too often. I'm kind of a pain like that. If she's crazy making with excuses and sabotaging herself, it's bad enough if she believes it. I don't get in there with her. You too are going to get the science and the support along with unbiased truth and tough love. If you're ready to put yourself first and put old habits aside, you can feel better in your second 50 than you ever felt in your life. And there you have it, the start of the book. I've either whet your appetite for more or saved you some time. Maybe this book is not for you, and that is also okay. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear whether listening to a book is more appealing to you than actually sitting down and trying to read. It's a quick read. It includes a lot of quotes of science. It's based on the science of women in perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. However, it's not written in a scientific way. So, if you have questions, and definitely if you have comments, know that I love to hear from you. Send me your hottest topics, the things that frustrate you, the comments about the book if you've already read it, and how today's podcast might have enticed you. Don't forget to come back to the show notes. So if you're somebody who can read and absorb and take action from a book, this is potentially all you need. If you want more support, the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women online course gives you access to all 8 modules and a 9th bonus module, as well as the Bone Health mini course and the Adrenal Fatigue special presentation, all in one place. And you have access to all of the contents for a year. That in itself is not always good, having urgency and getting through that content. But having the bonus of being able to come back and review it again in 6 months or 9 can be a huge support. Leave your comment below the show notes at flipping50.com/you still got it, girl. And know that I think you definitely do.